Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over, man. As a person who grew up in South Central LA, also used to live in Compton for a while, I am a firm believer that they should send gang members. They should try to sweep up as many of these dudes who are claiming all these sets, and those should be the ones they put in the army. See how tough they are. I grew up around so much violence, man. And I chose to stay on the right path. You always have a choice. But a lot of these dudes get raised by the streets, and I always say the streets will make you or take you. But you always got a choice. And a lot of people take the easy route and get caught up in all the nonsense. I just see it every single day. But I will say this. I would not be surprised if there's some type of civil war, or I just don't know. But we got this video here from Hype Plus that says Black people respond to Chicago thugs threat to the National Guard, and it says switches in question marks. Now, being from the streets, I know switches. I know they talking about some type of, you know what, like what they gonna be doing. I just, you can tell that there's a lot of ignorance, you know, as I'm reading this title, because you trying to threaten the National Guard. Now, I know that they're making a move in Chicago. I don't know what parts, but I'm guessing like the really bad parts. This is where the conflict come in. You know, we all know that racism exists, but we also know that black on black crime exists. You know, I've seen it. But I just don't know if they're thinking about like the magnitude of the power of the National Guard. This ain't like no gang here. They still need to release those Epstein files. I'm gonna just say it. But let me see what people are saying, man. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Sorry for the long intro. I just had to get that off my chest. Let's jump right into it.
Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm John Ava. Over the last few weeks, the Trump administration has sparked several conversations on crime in highly urban cities like DC, Baltimore, and Los Angeles. According to Trump, these cities have failed to handle their crime rate, and in response, Trump will send in the National Guard into DC to help. Now, many have opposed the use of the military being used against civilians, while others have cheered on the move, pointing out how quickly things have improved. Just a few days ago, on his Truth Social platform, Trump would now threaten Chicago as the next city he may have to bring the National Guard or military to. He will go on to write, "I love the smell of deportation in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." He would then go.
It's so crazy when you see something like this, man, because you don't think you would ever see something like this from a president. And like I said, this is where the conflict comes in, because a lot of people, like, if you grew up around gangs, I think people will feel the same way if something happens to them. I done seen people, again, and when you grow up, the thing is said that bullets have no name. So it's a lot of people who get caught in a crossfire. I'm talking about like just enjoying birthday parties, and next thing you know, somebody done got hit. So I think a lot of people don't want to admit this, but it is bad. It's bad.
On to share a picture of himself on the body of an Army general. Now, the president's words were definitely alarming for those in Chicago, including the city's own mayor, who would directly respond to the message on his X account. The president's threats are beneath the honor of our nation, but the reality is that he wants to occupy our city and break our constitution. We must defend our democracy from this authoritarianism by protecting each other and protecting Chicago from Donald Trump. Outside of political figures in Chicago reacting to Trump's threats, those who are accused of being directly connected to the crime would respond. Over on TikTok, videos will begin to circulate of gang members and so-called thugs explaining that Chicago will not comply so easily like other cities.
Man, Trump talking about something. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Nigga, you about to find out why it's called Direct. The fuck? Goofy ass nigga? We ain't scared of this shit.
Trump, do not send the National Guard to Chicago, gang. Do not, I repeat, do not do it. We are a different fucking breed out here, nigga. We are not Los Angeles. Nigga, we are not Washington, D.C. Nigga, this is Chicago, nigga. Them niggas go fight back. I'm telling you, them niggas go fight back, gang. Whatever, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Them young niggas got switches, gang. They not going for that shit, bro. I know a bunch of y'all finna say, oh, it's the National Guard. They can't do anything about it.
Seeing them talk is the reason that they're coming. Literally dry snitching. That's so popular now, man. People just snitching on themselves. Again, we're talking about the National Guard here. The level of ignorance. TikTok, man. They on TikTok.
They must go in Chicago. Nigga, do y'all know that it's more bad people than good people, bro? There are over 100,000 gangs in Chicago.
Let me tell y'all something personally, bro. Trump, I don't know why the you think that these young niggas in Iraq finna be scared. They ain't scared no National Guard, shorty. They ass is not playing out here, boy. The National Guard should be scared of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what they be wrong. These YNs pull up to the police station with switches. You know what I'm saying? Drake's everything, shorty. Right in front of the station. I know exactly what I said, bro. No capping. So it's like, this shit crazy. These little niggas crazy, boy.
Now, these threats made by gang members in Chicago to the National Guard will cause many black users online to now chime in and share how ridiculous they felt their logic was.
Are y'all serious? Do y'all really think that y'all can take on the U.S. military? Bro, the military overtakes countries, bro. Y'all are a small portion of Chicago, bro. And y'all talk about y'all got switches. A switch is so dumb. A switch is like a waste of bullets, bro. And y'all thinking because it shoots really fast, bro.
So we got Chicago's gangsters and thugs saying they got switches for Trump's National Guard. Let's entertain that for maybe 2 seconds, right? First off, you think they don't know what you guys got? Where do you think those switches came from?
I know what's so funny to me is the fact that we got people on TikTok and the people of Chicago saying that they're not scared of the National Guard. Which, okay, you may not be scared of the National Guard or whatever the case may be, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. The National Guard definitely ain't scared of y'all, and the National Guard definitely don't mind bringing their ass to Chicago and shutting that whole city down. And the only reason these people saying this is because Trump said that they're going to find out what he did with D.C. and they're going to do the same thing in Chicago. And I guess the people of Chicago feeling some type of way. The dude's talking about some, oh, we got switches, we ain't scared of the National Guard, we got all this, we got all that. As if this not the U.S. military that y'all talking about. I guarantee you, them folks start bringing those tanks and bringing those grenade launchers to the streets. There is absolutely nothing that y'all people can do to the National Guard once they get to Chicago. I'm going to tell you that now. These are trained professionals that we're talking about here. These people specialize in that type of activity in the active war each and every day.
A part of these responses, black soldiers have also spoken out to explain why gang members going against the military is a bad idea.
I pray to Christ Jesus himself that this video reach the vast majority of the thugs and hooligans in Chicago that truly believe that you're going to do anything to the United States military. Mind you, We're not even bringing Green Berets or Navy SEALs or Special Forces, right? It's National Guard. It usually happens when an administration feels like a city or a place within the United States, it just adds civil unrest, right? Because we do defend the country from enemies, foreign and domestic, right? But let me speak to the people that think they're gonna do something to the military. Please, I advise you do not do it, right? I'm all for peace. I'm all for the right thing. Please do not put yourself in a position where you fall for the trap. Please don't think that you're gonna intimidate people that can pinpoint where you keep your weapons at, locate who your family is in a matter of half of a nanosecond. We have homing missiles that can track you down and put a quarter of a hole in your chest before you realize it. I'm asking all the thugs and hooligans to be civil. Be civil and just do the right thing.
Y'all heard what they saying about, telling Trump, don't send the National Guard here. We got switches, da-da-da-da-da, right? Y'all think y'all warning them by saying they don't shoot well, that they don't have the same weaponry. They know that. However, you got to understand the generation that we're dealing with. They're not looking at that as advice. They're looking at that as a challenge. And while many of you think you have a one-up or you're, really putting YNs in their place, you're really not. And what you're doing is you're issuing a challenge to them. You got to remember, as service members, we are governed by the UCMJ. Guess what YNs are governed by? The streets.
The street. I know it.
They don't have the same rules that we have. Please stop feeling like y'all flexing up on these Chicago YNs, bro. Because it's not cool. And it's not the flex that y'all think it is. Oh, y'all think y'all got 5.56s and all of these rounds and y'all can't shoot and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What I'm saying is the D1 crash outs in the hood, they don't care nothing about critical thinking. All they see is a mission.
Now, according to the mayor's office, crime in Chicago has significantly decreased in recent years. Specifically, Chicago has seen a 33% reduction in homicides and a 38% reduction in shootings. This summer saw 123 homicides with 278 total homicides through August 31st, 2025, compared to 2021 reports, reflecting that summer of 2021 saw 274 homicides in Chicago alone, with 805 for the full year. Now, it appears that things have already improved in Chicago, but it is still for some considered to have some work to do in regards to crime. So what are your guys' thoughts about Trump's possible move in on Chicago, and should gang members there be worried by these threats? Stay up to date for the latest news in comedy, culture, and sports by subscribing here.
It's really sad, man, because we have the power to come together. If you guys are new to this channel, again, I hate politics. I think there's so much corruption on both sides, But at the end of the day, and I'm not a person on the outside speaking, literally grew up with, every time you turned on the news and it was a shooting here, shooting there, if it wasn't on my street, it was around the corner or the next block or over here, but literally right around me. I had so many friends who chose the streets. I'm talking about like talented people. I've seen people who should have been in the NBA, should have been in the NFL, life get taken, and they had no association with any gangs as far as them not being affiliated at all. I'm talking about coming home from school. Hey, homie, where you from? I don't gang bang. Boom. Because what they do is they send people out there to get initiated. A lot of gangs were doing that. That's what they say, if somebody's driving behind you with their lights off, or you come across them with their lights off, don't flick at them to tell them to cut their lights on, because that's some type of initiation. It's sad, man. It's sad. But, you know, this is something you have to admit. And I feel like a lot of people may never have experience getting jacked, house getting broken, putting a gun being pulled on you, shot at. I've had all those things. I was just a young kid going to Compton High School, coming home from football practice on the metro from Compton Station all the way to Slauson, and I had these dudes approach me. Luckily, I was quick enough and fast enough, swung my helmet, and I took off. I was on the schedule. Once my train arrived, I knew my bus was coming, and luckily it was coming, because sometimes the bus would show up and it would say out of service and wouldn't even stop. If it was one of those nights, I don't even know if I would be here. But I got a feeling that we gonna turn on that TV one day and it's gonna say breaking news coming out of Chicago. And we might see live action of some type of exchange going on. I wouldn't doubt it. But for these dudes to be making a threat to the National Guard is wild. It's wild. Especially like them showing their faces, all that stuff. Do I dare go to the comments? Wow. It's a lot of stuff I can't read because of how they worded this, but they're basically saying, that they will take out Chicago. And you can tell there's a lot of people in this comment section with common sense. Yeah. Man. Yeah, these comments are pretty bad, man. As far as like saying like they're making a mistake thinking that they can go against the National Guard. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how long they're going to be there for. But I mean, they call it Chirac. Appreciate y'all coming over. Please like, share, comment below what y'all think about this. I'm pretty sure y'all comments are going to be the same as everybody else's in mine. All right. Peace out.